But I wanted to talk about my Laura Lunchbox video, which I have to say proved my point about shock, because it got so many views in the first day. It was incredible. It also got the most amount of comments. I think there was seven pages of comments within the first day, and also got the most amount of thumbs down. Now, I don't know why. I mean, hello. When you've got a bush like that, I would expect you to give me the thumbs up. But it just goes to show, and I guess that was the whole sort of point of the video, was to reiterate my thoughts about shock and how shock can cause a reaction. And although it's not always a positive reaction, people will talk about it, right? Because I got tons of emails, tons of comments, and a lot of those emails that I got, now I'm not attacking anybody or singling out anyone that sent me emails saying that they thought it was a bit weird of me to make a video like that, but you know, I just want to sort of clarify and explain myself a bit more. I know I don't have to, but I feel like I do, because you know, paraphrasing one of the emails or comments I got was something on the lines of you know, you've got a popular social network, you know, you've got lots of people follow you, that look up to you, and you know, they can probably get confused by seeing a video that has you dressed up in like an apron, you know, showing your legs and doing, you know, crazy stupid stuff and showing your ass cheeks, and you know what I mean. But what you have to understand is that's part of my creative nature. You know, for a long time I was always trying to stop certain aspects of my creativity or certain things. Like, for example, a lot of those of you that are in my close circle of people that hang around me know that I'll be full charged on doing one thing, one project, and all of a sudden I'll just completely lose interest and go off on another tangent. But that's how I work, and I need to follow my own gut instinct. So, you know, that's why I do so many different things. Whether it's assemblage, painting, whatever, stencils, you name it. That's the type of person I know that I've become, and I accept that now, and I just have to go with my instinct and go with the flow and just follow that path. So for example, today I was working on this painting behind me, and then, you know, I've all of a sudden thought, oh, hang on a minute, alright, I'm going to just create a Francis Bacon stencil. So I sat there for 2 hours carving out a 3-layered Francis Bacon stencil and printing it. There we go. You know what I mean? And I've got like an order to do like how many sardine cans now? I think I've got 25 orders. So yeah, there's another like 12 there. But that's what I mean. I've got so many things going on. I get lots of emails. So, you know, I'm always pulled in lots of directions. And that's how I work. I just go in different directions. But yeah, so, you know, getting back to that aspect of that video, that's just a part of my personality. And if I feel my creative pull is in just making a stupid video that makes me laugh at myself so hard that, you know, and makes some of you laugh, then I feel that that's the right thing to do. And I know not everybody likes that sort of thing. And you know, I woke up the next day and went, oh my God, did I really do that? Did I really need to show people me pulling my undies out of my ass cheeks? No, I didn't. I didn't need to do that. But that reverts to my I have a really sick sense of humour. And I think it's the more disgusting something is, the more I find it quite humorous. I don't know, I just have a sick sense of humour. But yeah, so that was the reason, and shock. That was the reason for that video. But I also wanted to talk about a question one of my online buddies asked me, John Purchase Art. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. He's an awesome artist. I love his portraits. They're totally unique. He should be more recognised and famous than he is. And I reckon you should check him out and subscribe to his channel because he's awesome. And I don't normally give out many shout outs. But yeah, I really like his stuff. But he asked me a question on Facebook today, asking me, let me find it again. What did he say? He said, how do you approach galleries? You don't. Well, and like I said to him, it all depends what you want. First of all, the best thing to do is, you know, it's all about location. Where do you live? Do you live in the city or do you live in a country town? You know, what's the galleries like? Are they really snobby? You know, if you live in a country town, you've got more of a chance of probably getting, you know, your work in a gallery if you just do cold calls. And what I mean by that is just taking a folio with whatever experience you have, some photos of your work, and just a couple of small real life examples. And I've done that successfully on several occasions. I've just walked into the gallery with my folio and a couple of small works, and they've said, oh great, do you want to leave some stuff here and we'll see how it goes over the next month. And then I've been fortunate enough to sell work, and then, you know, you just keep on, it goes from there. But you know, if you want to get in like a big prestigious gallery and you live in the city, it's obviously going to be, there's a lot of competition. They look for people that have got degrees, because apparently that makes you a better artist, whatever. You know what I feel about that shit. But you know, it just depends where you want to play, and you know, what are you really after. At the end of the day, you know, I was represented by one of the best galleries in Oslo 2 years ago. They treated me like shit. I was absolutely always, I think I was bursting into tears every time I left, because I just felt like they just treated me like I was just a piece of dirt. Not being bitter and twisted at all, but and I sold work with them, so you know, whatever. But the thing is, you know, I wasn't in their little special artists group. See, that's another thing. If you're going to get into a gallery, you know, some of them have their little cliques of artists that they really promote and others that they don't. But for me, I'm not paying someone I'm not paying a gallery 35 to 50% commission when really they don't really do a lot to push and sell my work, and they're not out there promoting me. I promote myself more through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, my website, my social network, than any of those galleries I've ever been with could ever even begin to promote me. The amount of people that I'm exposed to, that there's no way that they can compete with that. And I sell, you know, I sell my work through my website and through my Etsy store. And you know what? I'm happy because I can keep my prices down. I don't have to pay a gallery commission, which means my work is affordable for everybody. And at the end of the day, I'm happier selling my work to just normal people and letting them enjoying my work than, you know, only having my work available to those that can afford it. I don't work like that. That's not the type of artist that I am, and that's not what I'm about. So like I said, you know, I'm not worrying about galleries myself, but everyone has their own motivations, everyone has their own ideas of what they want to do and what they want to achieve, and you know, some people want to go with galleries, and don't get me wrong, there are some good galleries out there and that look after their artists and treat them with respect and kindness. I just haven't come across one yet, and when I do, I'll praise them, whatever. But you know what I mean? Just get your name out there, promote yourself, and things will build. They really will. Another point that I was going to mention was about, hang on a minute, I just had a brain fart. Brain fart. What was I going to say now? I was talking about that. But you're better off getting out there yourself. I fucking don't know what I was going to say. Psycho. What is important, and I think which is going to be my focus, is getting in magazines, having articles written about me. For me, that is way more important than getting representation by a gallery. So, you know, that's what I'm targeting that's what I'm focusing myself on, is getting my name in magazines. Now, I haven't even approached any magazines, any art magazines or anything yet, but I'm going to get into it. I've been fortunate enough, beginning of this year, to be in several online publications, which has been fantastic. And I'm actually in a book next year. I can't tell you who's putting it together, but I was asked to be one of the featured artists, so I was really excited to be involved with that book that's coming out, because there's some big artists in there, so I was happy that I got asked. But you know, for me, that's what you guys should be focusing on, is getting in articles, getting stuff written about you, because a lot of people read, a lot of people do that sort of stuff. But, you know, if you want to get your name out there, just keep doing all what I do. I don't do anything different. I'm like you, I'm just a normal guy, I'm just creative, I'm just sharing my journey, and I'm, you know, just giving it. And that's what you got to do, you just got to give it. And you'll find your audience, you'll find your style, but just start. You've got to start somewhere, and you've got to start now, and you've got to hit it hard. You want to get somewhere, you've got to hit really hard, and you have to be dedicated, you have to be consistent, and you always have to be thinking ahead of what can you do next. What can I do? What can I do? And keep pushing yourself. Alright, I'm shutting up now. I sound like a big, I don't know what I sound like, but I sound like my mother. No! Alright, shut up. Alright. Peace to your face, as my mate Subricky says. Well, he's not really my mate, I don't even know him, but I follow his channel anyway, so whatever. Anyway, take care, later, love yous.